One very powerful belief to hold, and I hope this is something that like hits you right now. If I think it'll hit a lot of you, especially if you haven't achieved what you want to achieve. If you feel like it's all lost, or it's too late, or you're too old, or you missed the boat, or whatever, is to just remember the past does not equal the future. It's so simple, but just to tell yourself, what happened yesterday, what's happened for the last 3 or 4 years, the way I've treated my body, the way I haven't worked, the way I've been lazy, just because I was that way in the past, it doesn't mean I'm going to be that way in the future. Just because I've had a string of quote unquote bad luck for a while doesn't mean I'll have bad luck into the future. Just because I've failed before doesn't mean I'm going to keep failing. Just because I haven't had a great love life doesn't mean I won't have a great love life. Just because I don't have any money right now doesn't mean I won't have money in the future. Just because I was lazy in school and I didn't pay attention in school and I was a bad student doesn't mean in the future I have to be that. The past doesn't equal the future. Just because your relationship hasn't been good doesn't mean the relationship can't be better in the future. It's just like you shift that mindset and remind yourself that the past doesn't equal the future. It's so freeing. You might feel like you can breathe again. Now, just saying that makes you feel good, but then you got to take action. You need to sit down with a pen and paper. What do you need to change? What do you need to fix? So the past isn't like the future. You need to know the past is not necessarily like the future unless you keep doing the same thing. So, like, I had a friend who wasn't making much money. And I said, well, what have you done before? And he said the things he hadn't done and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, why don't you do the opposite of what you did before and see what happens? Right? Like, just do what you have to do to get some income coming in. Anyways, he started working and ended up, in over a year making a lot more money. Right. And he had 5 or 6 years where it was just failure after failure after failure and, bad job after bad job after bad job. And I just said, past doesn't equal the future, but you also have to change. So if you remember those two things, the past doesn't equal the future, right? And then, I don't know if you guys remember the video from a while ago. I had the F up method, right? As soon as you say the past doesn't equal the future, right? Why don't you, in this moment, do something proactive? No excuses to start on that. I remember I hurt my back a few years ago and I was in New York. I don't even know what I did to it. I just couldn't move. Like I literally couldn't move. I would move and the back would flare up. I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. And I hadn't been stretching or lifting or anything. And as soon as the back was good enough to do anything, I mean, I literally couldn't do something, right away. But I said, I'm not going to let that happen again. Right? I'm not going to let that happen again. And I immediately, again, as soon as I could actually physically move, I began stretching. And I haven't missed a day. It's been about 3 years now of stretching. I haven't missed a day and I do mini stretches. I say, and that's another thing. Is like, what can I realistically do? Because sometimes we get like so pumped up, and we just make a list of stuff we're going to, we make like this crazy list, and there's no way we can actually do it. So it's like, what's challenging, but what's also realistic for me to do? That's a really good question. And I thought, okay, well, I take a shower twice a day. I could stretch before I get in the shower for 60 seconds or 2 minutes. And that's what I did. And then what I'll do, I just added one more during the day when I work out. If I work out right at the end of the workout, I do a 2 minute stretch. That for me was comfortable, also challenging because it's 3 times a day. And when I first started this, I couldn't, I mean, it seems like it's such a mundane example, but when I first started this, I couldn't like, my feet were 6 inches or 12 inches from my hands. Like, and now I can put like a full fist on the floor. And the next goal is to try to be able to like do a split or something, just this year, just to keep expanding, add a little more challenge to it. But I had never stretched in my life. In the past, when you're younger, you're kind of flexible. But, once you cross 30, you start to lose flexibility. And I'd never stretched. And in one moment, I changed. I said, the past doesn't have to equal the future. I can be a flexible person. It's helped with my golf game. I don't get as sore anymore. And all it took was this little, like, shift, right? Okay, the past doesn't equal the future. I don't have to let this happen with my back. And then to make a practical plan that's also challenging, that fits into your schedule, right? And you can also, I should also note, like sometimes you can just go extreme. Like if your life's really messed up, you can say the past doesn't equal the future. It's time to get extreme. I'm going to start working out an hour a day. I'm going to stop drinking right now. I'm going to change my diet right now. I'm going to ask the girl out. I'm going to clean my room. I'm going to, like, it's a revolution. The revolution starts today. I'm cleaning everything out. I'm going to, wake up, work out, mental train, and I'm going to stick to it. Right? You don't the thing about going all out like that is sometimes you can just like burn yourself out in one day and get overwhelmed. But if you make something that's doable but challenging, you'll be surprised just how quickly you can change your life around. I was just watching this video. I'm going to do another video on this maybe tomorrow, but I was watching this video about it was a math guy, and this math guy, I think it's the Math Sorcerer or something on YouTube. And anyways, he said his professor told him when he was an undergrad or something that no matter how far you are behind in class, well, we'll just watch this. Sorry. Okay, there's some more Jordan highlights. No matter how far you are behind in class, you're only 2 weeks behind. 2 weeks of really hard work can catch up. You can catch up. And I thought, that's a really good idea. Anyways, that's a little sneak peek for the next video I'm going to do. But just remember, the past doesn't equal the future. And you can change things but right now, but you have to like make an actual to-do list to help you change the future, to get away from that past. This is Basketball Brain.